Olá, bom dia a todos. É um prazer sempre muito grande estar aqui com vocês, principalmente na ABC, na Casa Brasileira, né, da Cosmetologia. Eu sou a Eliane Dornelas, responsável pelo departamento técnico do Departamento de Ciências da Vida da Color Mix. Estou aqui hoje, né, para apresentar para vocês esse conteúdo muito interessante sobre biotecnologia, né, de ativos para cosméticos. Contaremos aí com a participação do Dr. Guglielmo Bifulco e o Dr. Rastrelli, da Alligenic, lá da Itália. Então, gostaria de convidar o Dr. Rastrelli para aparecer, né, para vir nos contar um pouquinho sobre esse trabalho tão importante e inovador da Alligenic. Seja bem-vindo, Dr. Rastrelli.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for participating in this color mix and Calichem meeting. I am Francesco Rastrelli, the general manager of Calichem, which is an Italian company. Just a few words to introduce Calichem company. Calichem is specialized in the research, development, and production of innovative ingredients exclusively for personal care market. In the cosmetic market, our R&D activity is continuous. I mean that we focus on giving customers very efficient finished product formulation proposals. The wide range of products in our portfolio highlights the utmost importance Calichem places on R&D, faithful to our policy to concentrate our investments on technologically specialized products. To illustrate the activity of Calichem, we have to start from one of the main focuses of this market. What we say, the environmentally conscious consumer. Calichem interprets this concept through four different aspects. One is the attention to environmental impact. The second, sustainable products. The third, the green chemistry. And the fourth, organic and natural ingredients. In Calichem, we have different expertise in some specific technologies. One is vegetable lipoproteins and lipoamino acids as emulsifiers and surfactants under the brand olive oil. Second, we have an area of molecular biology and biotechnology. This is the group of biotech products. In this group, we have postbiotics, DNA, and many other new ingredients. The third technology is represented by many actives based on different know-how, such as lipoamino acids, such as vegetal peptides, vegetal proteins. And the last technology is represented by hydroxyapatite. Hydroxyapatite is a mineral, is a specific material. Calichem developed a high specialization in this area. Getting back to the biotech, which is one of the most important area in which Calichem is involved, we are talking about ingredients derived from biofermentation processes, and in this area, Calichem launched postbiotics into the market, and molecular biology. In this field, Calichem has in our portfolio, in his portfolio, DNA and a range of different polynucleotides. Regarding the biotech and the Calichem approach, in Calichem we pay attention to all the projects, also upscaling waste material and recycling starting material which may be pollutant for the environment. And so this area is connected to the biotech. At this regard, olive oil, which is one of the first technology, is an important example. In fact, olive oil are ingredients composed of materials deriving from the waste of the olive oil food industry. This is the group of Calichem which still today represent the tradition and the innovation at the same time. After biotech, after olive oil, we have the third technology, as I mentioned before, hydroxyapatite. This production is based on a unique and sophisticated manufacturing process that is able to achieve a very special, exclusive quality of a material which is called biomimetic hydroxyapatite. Why we say biomimetic? Because we have a specific know-how to produce a material, which is a mineral, assimilable to the physiological one. Hydroxyapatite has different applications in relation to the type of version manufactured. We have application in oral care, skin care, sun care, deo care. And we have also the last one ingredient that Calichem developed, a specific application to defend our skin against external biological microorganisms. So, summarizing, in Calichem, our natural organic philosophy aims to propose products able to guarantee the origin of the component and high sustainability and the respect for the environment. We can say that our green and sustainable values are the slow beauty approach, the fermented ingredients, plant-based ingredients, preservative-free ingredients, and innovative testing technique. Okay, this is just in a few words a presentation of Calichem company. Now, let's move on to the webinar held by Guglielmo Bifulco. Enjoy the webinar.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining today's webinar from Calichem. We will go through the details of active ingredients developed through biotechnology techniques and according to the philosophy of biomimetism. These innovative development approaches represent today one of the most effective ways to design active ingredients for skin bioprotection and anti-aging. Let's start our discussion introducing the concept of biomimetism. According to scientific literature, biomimetic is a word pointing out the study of the formation, structure or function of physiologically produced substances and biological mechanisms for the purpose of synthesizing similar products that mimic natural ones. So, That is the case that regards the latest development made by Calichem, namely the launch of the ingredient Alligenic Skin. Alligenic Skin is a cosmetics specialty aimed to revolution the skincare daily routine in the wake of the concerns associated to the new world we are living in after experiencing the global threat of the pandemic. This active ingredient purpose is to guarantee a long-lasting skin bioprotection by creating an effective mineral shield that promotes a constant hygienizing action against microorganisms, along with a proven strengthening activity on the epidermal barrier. Alligenic is a worldwide patented technology based on a biomimetic mineral, the hydroxyapatite, functionalized with cationic surfactants based on quaternary ammonium salts. Its hygienizing action was proven both against bacteria and viruses, including coronavirus, and its main innovation point is related to the fact that the 5-hour protection of the skin derives from a single application of this product when included in cosmetics emulsion or gel, thanks to a smart pH-dependent mechanism of release of the cationic surfactant promoted by the unique features of the hydroxyapatite delivery system. Besides protecting the skin against the microorganism, this active also proved efficacy in improving skin barrier integrity and showed a respectful action toward the local microbiota. Let's focus the attention now on the two components of Alligenic Skin, namely the Biomimetic Hydroxyapatite and the cationic surfactant, which in the case of this specific reference is represented by the cetylpyridinium chloride. The Biomimetic Hydroxyapatite is a very well-known mineral as it is physiologically occurring in the human body at teeth and bone level and is currently used in several cosmetics and biomedical applications, including, for example, dental materials, implant coatings, bone substitutes, and drug delivery systems. In Alligenic technology, the purpose of the use of the hydroxyapatite is indeed represented by its features as an in vivo delivery system and also for its beneficial actions on the skin. In detail, the delivery system feature of hydroxyapatite derives from its capability of linking organic and inorganic substances through its large mineral superficial area and, above all, on its high reactivity and solubility, which entirely depends on the pH it is exposed to. Let's see the actual mechanism. The hydroxyapatite mineral is able to keep incorporated active ingredient in its structure as long as the pH it is exposed to is neutral. When it is exposed to acidic pH, as it happens on the skin, the hydroxyapatite crystals will get slowly dissolved and will release gradually the active ingredients included in its structure. Here we can see an example of what previously mentioned, namely the release of the cationic surfactant linked to the hydroxyapatite depending on the pH conditions. At neutral pH up until pH 8, the hydroxyapatite will not release the cationic surfactant, which will therefore stay linked to the hydroxyapatite surface and protected into our formulation. But once the active is deposited on the skin, the exposure to the skin acidic pH, that ranges usually from 5 to 6, will determine a gradual cationic surfactant release, which will remain constant throughout at least 5 hours. These particular kinetics enables indeed to promote a continuous presence on the skin of the hygienizing surfactant, allowing to keep a long-term activity despite a single application of the product. So, just a few words about the other component of Alligenic, the cetylpyridinium chloride. So, in this case, we are talking about a cationic surfactant with a very well-known activity in literature against microorganisms, activity that is given by its positive charge. This category of active is very popular in cosmetics application, also including oral care, thanks to its safety profile and efficient preventive action against microorganisms. After screening the single component's characteristics, let's see the overall activity of Alligenic. The Biomimetic Hydroxyapatite mineral structure, besides incorporating the cationic surfactant, is also able to entrap viral particles on its surface, as demonstrated in scientific literature and as we can see from the picture on the right side of the slide. On such basis, the hydroxyapatite works against the virus in a dualistic way. At first, it is able to catch the virus to its surface and expose it to the action of the cationic surfactant still linked to the mineral structure. In addition to that, as we have seen with the previous release graphic, it is also able to release with the pH-dependent kinetics the cationic surfactant on the skin, promoting its long-term hygienizing action against bacteria and virus for a time that goes up to 5 hours. Last but not least, hydroxyapatite has an intrinsic beneficial action on the skin, as it has a proven activity in increasing skin compactness through a direct action on epidermal keratinocytes. Following some in vivo tests made with the biomimetic hydroxyapatite that prove its beneficial action on the skin. The prolonged use of this biomimetic mineral has been proven to increase skin compactness and barrier integrity, reducing by 17% the viscoelastic ratio measured through the cutometer. In addition to that, hydroxyapatite also increases skin elasticity by 10% and reduces skin roughness by 10%, thus proving skin smoothness increase features. All these effects are extremely important considering the intensive use of alcohol-based sanitizers, which are known to cause a skin drying effect. Here we can see the tests against microbes carried out with Alligenic used at 10% in formula. In detail, we will see how Alligenic works against a strain of coronavirus after 1 and after 4 hours after a single application. We will see two main tests. The first will show the activity of Alligenic against the coronavirus viral envelope through an analysis at the transmission electron microscope, while the second will show its virucidal action through an assessment made directly on human cells. The transmission electron microscopy analysis proves that Alligenic at 10% is able to effectively disrupt the viral envelope of the coronavirus both after 1 hour and after 4 hours when compared to a control treatment. The alteration of the virus external membranes appears much more evident after 4 hours. From the microscope picture taken after 4 hours that we can see on the right side of the screen, we can see in fact that Alligenic induces a deep alteration of the morphology of the virus with debris, expanded round structure, and the total loss of the very famous spike protein on the virus surface. Spike protein which are instead still visible after the treatment with the control. Regarding the virucidal action, Alligenic was tested following a standard protocol for disinfectant substances, able to determine its activity in inhibiting the growth of the coronavirus in target human cells. The tests carried out show that Alligenic at 10%, both after 1 and 4 hours, is able to reduce the virus infectivity index by 99%, basically erasing its replication activity and therefore its infectivity potential. So, should we consider Alligenic as a biocide or as a cosmetics product? The answer is easy and straightforward. Alligenic is a cosmetics ingredient at 100%. Its composition is in fact made of hydroxyapatite, which is a cosmetics active with no limitations of use, and it is made of cetylpyridinium chloride that, when is used at a concentration not exceeding 0.2% in skin lotions, is considered at 100% as a cosmetics ingredient according to the guidelines of the SCCS. When Alligenic is used at the recommended concentration given by Calichem between 7 and 14%, its overall amount in formula corresponds to 0.1%, so way below the threshold imposed for skincare applications. After the clarification of the fully cosmetics nature of Alligenic, let's focus on the applications and claims that we can use with it. From an application point of view, Alligenic can be used both in emulsion and gel form, using as main cosmetics claims the following ones: long-lasting skin protection, deep hygiene, improvement of skin barrier and skin nourishment. In terms of market positioning, Alligenic use should be framed in a new category of cosmetics products with skin-friendly and more pleasant texture to use as a complement to soaps and sanitizers to integrate, boost and support the prevention against the pandemic diffusion. Let's change topic now and move the attention from the biomimetic actives to the actives obtained through biotechnologies. In detail, we will see the actives of the Calibiome family, which is a family of pure and reproducible postbiotics obtained from a patented biofermentation, and then we will see the Calinat DNA, which is a pure sodium DNA powder obtained through GMP standards. Calibiome postbiotics are a new call of active specialties that represent the future of cosmetics industry. Today, the maintenance and strengthening of skin microbiota is the key to guarantee the wellness and a good functionality of the skin. Calichem is introducing a new class of specialties for dermatological applications that represent the most advanced frontier of microbiota care. This innovation was developed by the laboratories of the Humanitas University of Milan with a scientific team worldwide recognized as one of the most relevant players in the knowledge of microbiology and microbiota. Now, let's see in detail what this innovation consists of. In compositional terms, Calibiome postbiotics are oligopeptides, fatty acids, and biosurfactants released by Lactobacillus paracasei through a controlled biofermentation, enabling to obtain the above substances in consistent amounts and with a unique purity yield on a reproducible basis. In functional terms, these postbiotics are the messengers and the actual effectors of the bacteria's beneficial actions on the skin. Contrarily to probiotics and similar actives, Calibiome postbiotics show a unique safety profile because of the total lack of bacterial fragments, bacterial wall, and toxins in their nature. This optimized safety profile is demonstrated in a scientific publication of a medical journal, Gut, through a study carried out on the main headquarters of the bacteria in the human body, the gut indeed. The study proves that individuals affected by the Crohn's disease, a pathology characterized by prolonged events of local acute inflammation, when treated with commensal bacteria of the Lactobacillus family, show worsening of inflammations, whereas the treatment with postbiotics obtained through the Calibiome technology shows maximum efficacy, tolerability, and a total lack of side effects. Following a table with an overview of the main advantages that Calibiome postbiotics bring to the table compared to other microcategories of actives for microbiome care. In comparison to the prebiotics, which are the food of bacteria, Calibiome postbiotics show higher specificity of action given by the presence of selected actives with specific function in their composition. Prebiotics instead are food for bacteria with no specificity or specific targeting. In comparison to the probiotics, which are living bacteria, we have three different types of added values. First, technological advantages, since Calibiome postbiotics do not contain living cells. As a result of this difference, there is no theoretical or practical possibility of contamination or induced bacteria inactivation triggered by cosmetics preservatives. Another consistent technological benefit is linked to the storage condition. Given their chemical nature, Calibiome postbiotics do not require refrigeration. In a second place, we have safety advantages, since Calibiome postbiotics do not contain living bacteria, bacterial fragments, bacterial wall, or toxins. In the wake of the previously mentioned study, Calibiome postbiotics show maximum safety and tolerability even in presence of acute inflammations. The probiotics instead, even commensal ones, in acute inflammation scenarios, could worsen the tissue's damages. The third advantage is functional. The probiotics, in order to give a beneficial action, need to crosstalk properly with the skin. Such crosstalking is quite facilitated in individuals with normal conditions, but it gets highly critical in individuals with uneducated skin. Now, one of the main examples of uneducated skin corresponds to the atopic skin. Individuals with atopic skin have unpredictable reactions when they get in contact with bacteria, even commensal ones. Calibiome postbiotics, given their total lack of bacteria and their related structural components, overcome the need of crosstalking with the skin, as they are indeed ready to use actives whose benefits are observed regardless of the education of the skin. Other actives used in the market are the paraprobiotics, which are heat-inactivated bacteria or tyndallized bacteria. Their main benefit in comparison to the probiotics is linked to their higher stability in formula. When comparing them to Calibiome postbiotics, they still show the same criticalities of the probiotics in relationship to the crosstalking mechanisms with atopic skin and uneducated skin, as well as safety matters in individuals with acute inflammations and uneducated skin. The last category are the Lysates and Ferment filtrates. These products are obtained through a standard traditional fermentation carried out with a single step where the bacterial output can be filtered or not. Compared to Calibiome postbiotics show the following advantages. First, a higher content of reproducible and specific actives given the different criteria of the fermentation conditions. Second, a higher efficiency of action given the postbiotics' low percentage of use required in formula that starts from 0.1%. And three, optimized organoleptic features since Calibiome postbiotics come in lyophilized powder form. Here summarized the focal points of the technology. Calibiome specialties are made of concentrated and reproducible actives obtained through a patented biofermentation. Their composition is totally bacteria-free and only containing active ingredients like peptides, fatty acids, and biosurfactants. They are preservatives-free, they can be stored at room temperature, they have no interference with cosmetics preservatives, and they show high efficiency of action given by the low dosages required, which are between 0.1 and 0.5%. Calibiome is a platform containing several references, each of them with specific functional targets. We will see today two different references. The first one is Calibiome Ecogeneric, and it is a specialty specific for the regulation of skin microbiota, and it is aimed to promote the skin strengthening through an increase of compactness and redensification of epidermis and dermis. Following a summary of the 6-week in vivo test carried out on a Calibiome-based cream concentrated at 0.2%. Evaluations were made on skin barrier strengthening, skin replenishment, and skin redensification. For each of the above studies, we have analyzed through vanguard and innovative tests, namely the metagenomic tests, the variation of the microbiome. With this kind of analysis, we are able, in fact, to determine which bacteria increase or decrease after the treatment with Calibiome postbiotics. Just a quick view of the metagenomic tests. These are detailed studies enabling to measure through the ribosomal RNA the variations of the microbiome following the treatments with the active and the placebo. Regarding the evaluation in vivo of how the skin barrier is influenced by Calibiome, we can observe that compared to the placebo treatment, Calibiome action allows to reduce the skin extensibility, expressed by the cutometer R0 parameter, by 11%. The reduction of the skin extensibility is a tangible evidence of increased skin firmness and compactness, hence an improvement of the skin barrier function. Through the previously mentioned metagenomic tests, we have also been able to identify which are the bacteria that are increased or decreased on the skin after the treatment. This is particularly interesting because with such method, we can make a correlation identifying which bacteria are positively or negatively correlated to the improvement of the skin barrier function. In detail, from this slide, we can see the positive correlations. We can see, in fact, that the subjects that reported the highest increases of skin firmness had significant increases of the bacteria Parvimonas and Dialister. On the other side, we have also the negative correlations. More specifically, the subjects that had major skin compactness increases had reductions of the expression of the bacteria Brevundimonas and Psychrobacter. Besides the in vivo studies, we have also made some interesting in vitro analysis. In detail, the following test measures the integrity of the skin cells proportionally to the values of electrical resistance. From the results, we can see that cells infected with skin pathogens and treated with Calibiome show a barrier function even superior to that of non-infected and healthy cells, whereas in all the other cases analyzed where Calibiome was not used, the values are significantly lower. This test is extremely significant because it proves that Calibiome keeps the skin barrier integrity even in presence of pathogens on skin cells. The following study shows how the skin changes at dermis level after the treatment with Calibiome. The pictures refer to the skin status before and after the 6-week treatment. We can see in the second picture a much higher amount of green and white color bands that correspond to the dermal matrix and collagen. In other words, besides increasing the superficial skin cells compactness as we have seen before, Calibiome also showed a powerful redensification and replenishment activity in the deeper areas of the skin. Getting back to our metagenomic tests made for skin redensification, we can observe additional correlations. In detail, the subjects that reported increased skin redensification had increases of the bacteria Prevotella nigrescens and a decrease of the bacteria Faecalibacterium. With the following graphic, we can observe how Calibiome is able to influence the skin microbiome regulation after the treatment by analyzing the bacteria according to their phylum. The following graphic shows instead a more detailed screening of the influence of Calibiome on the skin microbiome regulation by analyzing the bacteria according to their genus. As a recap, here we can see a list of Calibiome ecogenetic functional features. In detail, we have focused the attention on the positive regulation of skin microbiome and on the improvement of the skin barrier function and skin redensification increase. The tests we saw, anyhow, are just the tip of the iceberg, as there are really many other objectified activities that are listed here. The second reference of Calibiome postbiotics family is a specialty specific for soothing and protecting sensitive and atopic skin. Trade name Calibiome Sensitive. The following tests show the effects of Calibiome Sensitive on atopic skin in relationship to the soothing effect against itching and hypersensitivity related to atopic dermatitis, and how Calibiome counteracts the formation of the biofilm formation of the Staphylococcus aureus. The following skin biopsy images show on the left side the lesional skin typically occurring in atopic dermatitis, and on the right side the healthy skin. We can observe the different expression of a specific immune system protein, the long TSLP, highlighted through red fluorescence. This protein, the thymic stromal lymphopoietin, in atopic dermatitis in its long isoform is occurring 8 times more than in healthy skin, and it represents a mediator of itching and inflammation, the typical effects of atopic skin. Calibiome sensitive was proven to decrease such itching protein to its homeostatic values and increase its physiological anti-inflammatory isoform, the short TSLP. ELISA assessments prove that Calibiome, when compared to control and poly-IC, is able to decrease the itching TSLP isoform by 8 folds and to increase by 3 folds the short anti-inflammatory isoform. Let's take a look now to an interesting and interactive test carried out directly on plates containing the Staphylococcus aureus bacteria. Such bacteria was cultured in a plate and following treated with a control and Calibiome sensitive. Let's see what happens. The cyclic videos you're about to see show in both the plates some black dots corresponding to the bacteria. Now, the more the black dots grow in number, the more the bacteria will tend to form a biofilm. That's what happens in the case of the control especially. In the case of Calibiome, instead, you will see particular moments where the bacterial expression will be totally inhibited. That's the activity of Calibiome-sensitive biosurfactants that will physically inhibit the bacteria quorum sensing, therefore inhibiting their communication between each other, and exert a final bacteriostatic action. Among the most relevant in vivo tests carried out, we have reported increases of skin hydration of plus 20% after a treatment of 6 weeks. According to the metagenomic tests, the hydration increase is correlated to increased variations in the microbiome of the bacteria Rhodococcus, which is correlated to the increase of the skin moisturization. Finally, we have an in vivo evaluation of the skin redness reduction calculated through the chromometer by measuring the Hunter coordinates, more specifically the A value coordinate with a percentage reduction reported of -15%. Now a quick recap of all the features seen so far. So Calibiome sensitive is a candidate for Cosmetics claiming an itching and reddening reduction activity, soothing atopic and sensitive skin, promoting the integrity of skin barrier, reducing inflammation, preventing dark circles, anti-pollution activity, and much more. Let's change totally topic now and start introducing a new concept. Calichem laboratories, through increasingly advanced research, offer a new solution conform to the trend of genomics. The raw material calinate DNA projects us into a future of personal care already in hand. Nowadays, Calichem is the only company in the market able to produce DNA of pharmaceutical quality. This ingredient is obtained through sophisticated molecular biology techniques, enabling to obtain a specialty able to interact on the skin surface and triggering dermal signaling to promote advanced anti-aging and regeneration features. This active ingredient is based on sodium DNA, namely the deoxyribonucleic acid with double helix structure that we have all studied at school. This reference is produced through a biotechnological process carried out through a GMP standards in a pharma-grade facility. From an application point of view, this product can be used both in advanced anti-aging application for its skin lifting, anti-wrinkle and elasticizing features, and also in cosmeceuticals and medical device to promote skin and tissues regeneration, repair and soothing actions. These pictures show some of the reactors of the vanguard and futuristic sterile area where the active ingredient is obtained through a unique biotechnology know-how. Regarding the mechanisms of action related to the skin anti-aging, let's focus the attention on the lifting mechanism. This effect is pretty mechanical, and it is related to the size and the three-dimensional structure of the polymeric nature of the DNA. The polymer, which is a polydeoxyribonucleotide polymer, has a controlled size between 400 and 750 base pairs and boasts a supercoiled structure that establishes many anchor points on the skin surface that lead to a horizontal pull that triggers an immediate lifting effect perceivable since the first application. Apart from the mechanical immediate skin lifting mechanism, the DNA also works with a long-term biological action as a result of its interactions with both epidermal and dermal components. On the epidermis, the DNA interacts mainly with the toll-like receptors of keratinocytes and immune cells, while in the dermis it interacts with fibroblasts. The result of this interaction is the activation of growth factors stimulating skin repair and regeneration and increase of collagen, elastin, and glycosaminoglycans. After the explanation of the theory, let's see the in vivo anti-aging tests carried out on the DNA. In detail, we will evaluate its anti-wrinkle action, its overall skin elasticity increase, and skin thickness. The anti-wrinkle test shows a delta decrease of skin wrinkle depth reduction of 135% compared to the delta decrease given by the placebo. In this case, skin wrinkles were measured on skin imprints prepared with a quick hardening resin and image analysis of skin replicas. This is the visual impact of how the skin changes after the treatment, specifically in the eye contour area. Additional assessments proved an increase of skin elasticity by 26% compared to the beginning of the treatment. This effect is clearly connected to the fibrogenesis activity described before through the epidermal and dermal signalings. Finally, the DNA also proved to increase the skin thickness by 10%, providing an increase threefold higher than the placebo. Besides the in vivo tests, the DNA also proved additional benefits on skin regeneration for cosmeceutical applications. In detail, we have observed increases of stem cells proliferation by 50% and increases of fibroblast proliferation by 100% when compared to control treatments. We have furthermore evidence of increased skin cells viability after UV exposure, as well as preservation of the skin elastin that make this raw material specific also for photoaging treatments. Regarding the main applications and claims, Calinat DNA can be used for cosmetics purposes, for anti-aging treatments with skin lifting, anti-wrinkle, and skin elasticity enhancing features, as well as in cosmeceuticals and medical devices, thanks to its proven soothing, repairing, and regeneration actions in diversified applications. Among these applications, we have, for instance, gynecological, oral care, hair care, skin reepithelializing, scars and stretch mark treatments, and much more. Thanks very much to all of you for your attention, and of course to all the Color Mix team for the opportunity they gave us to present these actives. We are now at total disposal for any question or clarification regarding the topics discussed.
Olá, pessoal, temos aí uns minutinhos para poder estar atendendo os questionamentos de vocês. Se quiserem deixar alguma pergunta aqui no Q&A ou no chat, nós temos já alguns questionamentos feitos pelo canal do YouTube, então eu vou começar com as questões. Primeira delas, Dr. Rastrelli, qual a forma cosmética, né, gel, emulsão ou solução, que seria mais recomendada para o uso do Alligenic?
Okay, thank you for this question. And I would say Alligenic has two main applications. One is in skin care, and the second oral care. For skin care, Alligenic can be used in emulsions and in gel creams. For instance, is really suitable for a hand cream in the form of gel cream. For oral care, Alligenic may be used in toothpaste, gels, mouthwashes. These are the main forms where we can use Alligenic. Thank you.
Obrigada. Uma segunda questão, doutor. Qual é a forma física, né, da matéria-prima do Alligenic? Ele vem num pó, uma pasta, ou um pó já disperso, que é uma matéria-prima nova, a gente ainda não conhece.
Yes, Alligenic is based on Calicam technology for hydroxyapatite. Our know-how is focused to produce water-based suspension form, and so this is like a paste, a water suspension concentrated around 30% of hydroxyapatite.
Obrigada. Uma outra questão, deixa eu ver se tem alguma aqui no chat para eu... Acho que não achei nada aqui ainda. Tem uma outra questão, doutor. No caso, né, como o senhor já explicou, mas a pergunta é assim, a concentração que vocês indicaram na formulação de um gel para a proteção das mãos, de um gel creme para a proteção das mãos, é de 7%, né? E aí a pergunta é se nesta formulação, né, é sempre recomendado usar algum agente de suspensão, né, para que esse pó, para que essas partículas sejam bem distribuídas.
Okay, in our experience, in the gel cream formula, usually the polymer used to build the gel is sufficient to support Alligenic stability. We don't need any other polymers.
Ok, muito obrigada. Na formulação, era lá os polímeros derivados do ácido acrílico, né? Só para deixar o registro aí para todo mundo. Uma outra questão, doutor. O Biomimetic, ele também é adequado para tratamento de flacidez no corpo? Porque foi, né, bem explicado, comentado sobre as rugas, né, a flacidez da face. Mas ele também pode ser usado para o tratamento, para produtos de tratamento de flacidez corporal?
Okay. Regarding Calibiome postbiotics, our tests were carried out specifically in the face area. Nonetheless, Calibiome ecogenetic also works on the rest of the body, since it targets in ubiquitous way the collagen network all over the body. So, there are no problems to use Calibiome ecogenetic on face and also on the body.
Ok, doutor. Tem uma pergunta aqui no Q&A da Raquel Kahn, perguntando, o Calinat DNA seria indicado para tratamento de estrias?
Okay. Yes. Calinat, the main application of Calinat is, for instance, for stretch marks. The action mechanism of DNA is the immediate lifting effect that Calinat exerts. So we suggest to use DNA on wrinkles as anti-wrinkles and for application against the stretch marks. It is a mechanism action linked to the many anchor points that is able to establish with the skin. After the application, its polymeric nature, while linked to the skin, stretches the skin with immediate effect.
Bom, temos uma última questão que nos chegou aqui sobre para uma pele com acne, né, uma pele mais reativa, se a melhor opção seria o Calibiome Sensitive.
Okay. Okay, both Calibiome sensitive and ecogenetic work well. Calibiome sensitive targets preferentially inflammations and soothes the suffering skin. Calibiome ecogenetic regulates more specifically skin microbiome equilibrium and prevents the skin structural damages through its redensification and replenishment action. So both are good for acne, but okay, in our experience, okay, Calibiome ecogenetic may be better.
Obrigada, Dr. Rastrelli. Nós estamos, né, encerrando a nossa webinar e vou deixar aqui os nossos dados, né, para quem precisar entrar em contato. Se alguém desejar esse conteúdo que seja enviado, a gente sempre faz isso lá pela Colormix. Então, em nome aí do Departamento de Ciências da Vida, da Colormix Especialidades, agradecemos a ABC, agradecemos a Calichem, ao Dr. Guglielmo Bifulco, ao Dr. Rastrelli, que esteve aqui conosco, né? E a presença de todos vocês, dizendo que vocês são sempre bem-vindos na Colormix, todos, e o que precisarem da gente para um apoio técnico, para a aplicação dessas matérias-primas, né? Esses ativos tão inovadores, como disse o Guglielmo, é o futuro. Estamos aqui, né? Para as amostras, para as conversas, e, mais uma vez, agradecendo também a toda a equipe aí da ABC que nos dá um suporte maravilhoso. Até a próxima webinar. Com você, Dr. Francesco, suas despedidas.
Yeah. Thank you all for the time you have dedicated to our presentation. Thank to Colormix for the organization of the webinar, and we will update at the next appointment. Thank you very much.
Bye, bye.